So, what's the name of your business?
My name is Ryan Pollock. I'm from Rye Bread. We're just a small cafe in Fairmount. Just focus on breakfast foods, lunch, and lunch.
Cool. What made you decide to get into like the cafe industry?
It's kind of a result of the economy. I lost my job as an architect. I was living in Washington D.C. and studied there at Catholic University, and then stayed there afterwards. And was working at an architecture firm, and lost my job there. So I moved home to Philadelphia, and I was just talking with my dad, and we had the idea of well, we've always had a catering job as a family, just word of mouth, never like a real business. So we just got talking, and it just seemed like something to try out. It seemed like the right time to do it. So.
I know you guys have been here about 7 months.
Exactly.
What made you choose Fairmount?
My sister kind of had a helping part in that. She lives in Manayunk, just kind of town over, and she had a lot of people living in the Philadelphia area, more like Center City and some in this area, and just kind of researching cities and like looking at the neighborhoods and like seeing where where there wasn't many sandwich shops or bagel shops or cafes, and then we just kind of started looking more closer at properties and what could be affordable and stuff like that. So it was kind of a collaboration of a bunch of things that brought us here.
So was this area comparable in price to other places that you were looking at?
Yeah, I mean, this was kind of like the first place that we looked at in terms of like actual space. So we didn't really get pricing at other places, but at the same time, my girlfriend and I were looking to buy a house. So we kind of got ideas of what real estate was worth in different parts of the city. Like we looked at a Graduate Hospital area, and then we looked also like a little north of Fairmount here, almost like Brewery Town, and those were like more affordable. So in terms of like the real estate where we're at, we kind of lucked out. There was a business going out of business. It was a dog shop. It was called in the Dog House, and we kind of lucked out because they needed to get out of their lease, and we were looking, and just by chance, we kind of fell into this place, which worked out for us.
Cool. How would you describe like the clientele that comes in here?
Most of the clientele would be anywhere from young professionals to like people with like their first children, like early, I guess, like new families. But then we also have people in their 80s. Just across the street is a big, I guess, residential complex called the Philadelphian, where I think it's like one of the largest hotel, or not hotel, but like apartment complexes in the world or in the nation or something like that. There's just so much density in one complex. So there's a lot of like retired people and a lot of elderly people that live in there. So we kind of have like all spectrums of clientele, but I would say the majority would be like young professionals.
And if you don't mind me asking, what would be like the ethnicity or the nationality of most people that come?
Probably 80–85% would be Caucasian.
So how is your sandwiches priced compared to other places to eat around here?
For like a quick grab and go, I think our sandwiches are pretty comparable, if not a little bit below some of the other prices that you'd expect. Just when we were gathering our market research, we kind of like looked at Panera Bread. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, but like Panera Bread or Au Bon Pain, more of like the larger chains. But then when you get more located like specifically in the Fairmount area, across the street there's a place that their prices are pretty comparable, maybe a little bit higher. And then up the street there's another like cafe place where they focus more on organic, and the prices are even like higher than what you'd see here as well.
I mean, yeah, what you have is, it seems pretty moderately priced. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, what we tried to do when we were pricing was create a price where people would feel comfortable coming like 2 to 3 times a week. Whereas some other places your prices are a little bit higher and it becomes a luxury to go out to eat. And we were trying to create a place where they can't afford to, but they also want to come 3 times a week.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's a good place for working professionals, to come
Yeah.
for quick lunch or breakfast.
Exactly.
When you guys were researching like areas, was there a target demographic you guys had in mind coming into it, or?
I mean, I kind of, my girlfriend and I also live in the neighborhood, so I mean, I think it was kind of important to be in a neighborhood where we felt comfortable living in. I mean, I'm here 24/7, so it's important for me to live close. That was kind of important as well.
So would you attribute like your success to being able to like relate to like?
I
your
think so. I think
clientele,
it. I think it is important. A lot of times when we have customers, we get to know them because it's such a small place and they come back so often. We kind of know their name, so it's almost like the Cheers of Fairmount. So I think success is brought by knowing the customer and kind of knowing what they want, being in the neighborhood ourselves too.
So would you say there's like a sense of community within like
Definitely.
the people that
I
are moving
think-
in now compared to like
Yeah.
older residents, or like?
Well, for example, like a lot of our customers that have just recently moved into the neighborhood, I mean, I definitely notice them more coming in more often than the people that live at the Philadelphia. They're kind of set in their ways. There's a restaurant right underneath their housing complex, and most of the times they'll just go there out of convenience. So I think it is definitely a pattern of the times. I feel like younger professionals kind of want to try new things, but at the same time, when they like something, they'll become a repeat customer. So it kind of goes back and forth.
That's awesome.
Thank
Great.
you.